Les Ernest, you're standing for the seat of Forde, the
Correct.
Fraser Anning party.
That's correct, yeah.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
I'd like you to ask me something.
Okay, well, Fraser Anning's been in the spotlight with his comments on various things, and as you are his candidate, I'd like to ask you, what are your thoughts on foreign aid?
Foreign aid. Well, in the main, foreign aid seems to be given to countries for no rhyme or reason. They give it out just for any reason. What should be happening is it should be stopped totally initially and only given out where it's really, really necessary. When we have disasters in countries, yes, of course we help. Countries in our local region, in South Pacific, where funds are needed, yes, we give that out. But when we're giving it to foreigners, and I'll mention Indonesia, for example, who spend billions, hundreds of billions on their military, yet we give them hundreds of millions. So to me, if they can afford to spend that sort of money on their military, then they don't need our foreign aid. Palestine, we give funds to Palestine who actually fund terrorists. Afghanistan, terrorist country. We don't need to be giving this money to countries that actually hate us and would like to see us gone and actually like us to become an Islamic country. We don't need to be giving them that money.
So do you think that the money that we are sending to these countries is being spent for the purpose for which we intended it?
No, not at all. I believe that if we're giving them money, they're using then their funds on things that, if not our funds, on their funds. So we're giving them the opportunity to spend that money that we don't want it spent on. You know, if we give them 100 million and they then spend 340 million on military, which isn't an aid, well, why do they need our 100 million to start with, or our 300 million? They don't need it. They're spending their funds on things that we shouldn't be spending it on.
Well, moving on from there, Fraser Anning has said that he would like to see us pull out of the United Nations, that he thinks it's a corrupt organisation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'd have to totally agree with him that the UN is a corrupt organisation, and again, it's backed by Islam. Over 50% of the members are Islamic nations. They want to tear down borders of countries so they can then create a one world government, which is not in the good interests of Australia, and that's what I'm in this for, is to improve Australia. The UN isn't there to improve Australia. It is there to pull down our borders and bring people in that don't assimilate with our society. And they're the drivers of the immigration of our country. They are the ones that are driving that. You know, the Labor Party will bring in an extra, or double it, I think they've actually said, and give them $500 million towards their funding, and to bring people that don't assimilate into our society. So no, I totally disagree with the UN. Should be disbanded.
So you basically say, in essence, charity begins at home?
Absolutely. You know, when we've got returned soldiers living on the street, we've got people that work hard day in, day out, and they don't get anywhere. But we can send $340 million to a country that actually hate us, one of the biggest Islamic countries in the world, and they actually despise us. Yet we give them 300.
Biggest Islamic nation
in the world. Yes, it is. Yes, correct.
Right, well, while we're throwing money away overseas, let's get back to the local issues. What about the benefits that our politicians get and give themselves?
Well, we now know that career politicians go into politics to become millionaires, and they do, and even some of our conservative people have become millionaires on the back of the taxpayer. Now, when you look at, and I've been in corporate most of my working life, where I see we control expenses. They don't know how to control expenses. They actually give you an allowance, so it might be $160 a day for meals. The smart man spends $30 of his allowance on the meal and puts the other $130 a day in his pocket as an extra wage, or just to keep building his bank account. That's not the way to run any business, and the government shouldn't be any different. If it costs you $30 to feed yourself today while you're in Parliament, then you should be reimbursed $30, not $160 just in gratitude for being there. You're already paid for being there, and paid well. Some of our politicians are the best paid in the world. Why do they need more to build their bank accounts? To become millionaires? It's just not the right thing.
former Treasurer of Australia, Joe Hockey, famously said, the age of entitlement is over. Do you think we've entered the age of entitlement?
Well, Joe Hockey's a double dipper in himself. $380,000 a year to be an ambassador in America, plus a $90,000 pension every year. So if that's not double dipping, I don't know what is. And if that's not the age of entitlement, what is? You know.
So you think the age of entitlement for the politicians is not yet over?
It's not over. It should be. It should be finished tomorrow. And their pension, their massive pension they get, no matter what age they leave politics. But poor old Australian, we have to wait till 67, but they can go out at 45 or any age and receive their pension straight up front. That's not right. That's absolutely not right.
There's all the best in the coming election. And
thanks very much, Jim.
God bless.
Thanks very much.